Hello, Homestead. Please stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please stay standing for a moment of silence. From Homestead Media, this is HHS In Depth.
Right now on HHS In Depth, AP testing starts next week at Homestead. Find out about the changes to testing this year during a pandemic.
Plus, you'll see how one organization in downtown Fort Wayne is turning trash to treasure. You'll meet an elementary student who is helping the environment with her Caps for a Cause project. Those stories and more straight ahead. Thank you for joining us today. I'm Cole Steinacker. And I'm Jensen Clegg. We start today's show with what we can expect to take place at Homestead over the next 2 weeks as AP testing resumes. HHS In Depth reporter Matt Salfrank is in now to tell us more about the changes coming this year to the testing.
Last year's advanced placement exams were taken online for the first time ever due to the threat of the pandemic. School counselor and AP program coordinator Mrs. Hamilton says that this year the exams will return to in-person.
We're going to revert back to the way the exams were 2019, which is a full three and a half hours for most of the exams. So students should be expecting to sit for about 4 hours this year for their AP exams.
Despite the option for students to take the AP exam online at home, the school strongly recommends all students take the exam here at school. COVID-19 protocols will be met.
Homestead believes that the Administration 1 that College Board is offering is the best way for students to test. Now that will be a paper pencil exam, and those will be run here in the building from May 3rd through May 17th. I am presently setting up rooms and making sure our students are far enough apart when they test, and then they'll also be required to wear a mask the entire time of testing.
If students want to take the exam at home due to fear of COVID, they certainly have that option. However, taking the exam at home could bring more potential problems than in person at the school.
We hope that the Wi-Fi is set up at home. It's strong enough that the student can receive that signal through the entire exam. So students have to go through a series of steps to be prepared to test digitally, which includes downloading a digital exam application and just making sure that they are set up and ready to go and testing at home. College Board has put in place several security measures to make sure that students are not inclined to seek outside sources.
Those who want more information about the advanced placement tests can go to the Homestead website, which includes information about the exam schedule and what to bring and not to bring to your exam. Those who would like to take the exam online have the option to do so during Administration 3. However, Mrs. Hamilton wants to reiterate that all students are encouraged to take their specific AP exam during Administration 1, which is the in-person paper and pencil exam at Homestead. Reporting for HHS In Depth, I'm Matt Salfrank.
Downtown Fort Wayne has recently been beginning more projects for students to get involved in the community. Reporter Nada DeHook is in now with a story over a young student who has been leading one of these efforts to help the environment with her projects, Caps for a Cause.
Last Thursday was Earth Day, where people around Fort Wayne were doing their part in saving the environment. But one young student, Sammy Vance, has been doing her part for multiple weeks now by turning the trash around Fort Wayne into treasure.
This is Caps for a Cause, and basically it's where we take caps, plastic caps and lids, and we put them onto a board and it makes art, so cap murals is what we like to call it. The whole community helps us collect the recycled caps that we use to make the murals out of. So that way it's getting the whole community involved.
And the reason this opportunity was open to Sammy in the first place was because of her leadership and creativity.
Promenade Park is the one that started this cap mural project, but then when it was named Caps for a Cause, they let me help lead it. I've had the honor to actually be able to draw the designs for the cap murals, and it's been fun creating them and seeing them actually come to life out of caps.
And although this project is only beginning with small boards, Sammy's plans for Caps for a Cause expands to a wider scope of Fort Wayne.
So I'm hoping that Caps for a Cause, that it will get bigger, I guess you could say, but also the boards are actually planning to get auctioned off, and then the money goes back to the Parks Department so that they can do more fun things like this. People can help this Caps for a Cause by just collecting caps and donating them to Promenade Park, but also by coming by and helping us create some cap murals. It's a lot of fun, and it's also helping the community.
Students, if you want to help out in Sammy's project, you can go to the link below and find out when these monthly events are to donate caps. For HHS In Depth, I'm Nada Dahoud.
Thank you, Nana. And last weekend, Homestead also took part in Earth Day activities. Environmental Club held their New to You resale that had a big turnout last week from students and parents, earning a total of about $1,800 with donations and sales. All the remaining items were donated to the Franciscan Center.
We're drying up from the rain this week and into the weekend, but into next week, more rain is expected to come. I'll be back with a check of the weekend forecast in a few.
You're watching HHS In Depth with Cole Steinecker and Jensen Clegg.
Welcome back. Seniors, it is that time of year. If you would like to have photos of you and your friends in the graduation video this year, please send your high-resolution photos to hhsindepth@gmail.com. Please only include seniors in the photos you send.
Seniors, please check your emails. Graduation information went out yesterday, and if you haven't done so already, please pick up your cap and gown in the main office.
If you took the PSAT this year and didn't pick up your results during lunch, you may retrieve them at door 26.
Need more card games in your life? Get out to Euchre Club. The next meeting is today after school in room 212. All players are welcome and no experience is necessary.
Audio aficionados will meet next Tuesday in room 600B, the radio and TV classroom. The club will be listening to a very unique album by the Flaming Lips.
K-Pop Club meets today right after school in room 924.
Film Club meets every Monday after school in Mrs. Ricker's room 113.
Seniors, tell your parents it's time to purchase your senior ad. Simply go to yearbooksforever.com and buy yours before the deadline.
Students, purchasing a yearbook couldn't be simpler. Also at yearbooksforever.com, hurry up and get yours before the May 1st deadline, which is tomorrow.
Club sponsors. Club Picture Day is May 13th after school. Please sign up for a time slot to get your club's picture taken and put in the yearbook. See the announcement from Miss Bream for the Google sign-up sheet.
You've seen how a few classes at Homestead have adapted to the COVID-19 restrictions this year. In this week's final installment of the series, HHS In Depth reporter Jenna Lane takes a look at how science is adjusting to this new style of learning.
Homestead's science classrooms have had to face a variety of new challenges since the start of the pandemic. Because of this unusual year, teachers have had to make a few key adjustments in their daily classroom life.
Well, the big difference at the beginning of the year is I usually had 2 students at each desk. This year I have 1 student at each desk. In my class, a lot of times I have them working with other students, so I've done a lot less of the whiteboarding, students discussing answers and doing that type of thing this year than I have in the past.
Having students who are at home and can't get their hands wet, dirty, is challenging. At the beginning of the year, we really didn't have any papers, which sounds great for the environment, but for learning and the way your brain works, it's not always great.
We've all had to create labs that were more digitally based. So sometimes that just means changing up the way we're going to work through stations and activities, and other times we've actually substituted simulations or virtual labs instead of doing hands-on activities.
Students have also had to adapt to these challenges, which can make learning much more difficult than normal.
Unfortunately, we've had a few people who are sort of taking this as an advantage, but most kids have been phenomenal.
Overall, I think we've all adapted really well. By putting, one foot in front of the other, I think we have adjusted and adapted as best we can. And I'm really proud of what my students have accomplished, and teachers as well.
This year has been a learning opportunity for teachers, and they hope to apply this experience into teaching next year.
I have found a couple good websites, so some of those things I'll keep using, but I don't think anything really replaces the hands-on. I'll definitely bring a lot of that back once we get through this COVID thing.
I plan to use a few of the digital items that I've found, but as far as day-to-day, I prefer face-to-face collaboration, obviously, so I'm really anxious to get back to those types of activities.
After an abnormal school year, teachers are proud of the success they've seen, and they can't wait to see what next year holds in store. Reporting for HHS In Depth, I'm Jenna Lane.
Thank you, Jenna. Students may have seen some strange-looking chairs and desks in a few of their classrooms recently. Bringing some more attention and information to this important change is HHS In-Depth reporter Andre Sentlever.
Nearing the end of the school year, when the teachers have chairs and desks stacked and put away, a select few teachers have received some special furniture for students to try out that might be the new norm in the new school.
This is just phase one, where students and faculty are looking at furniture, looking at tables, desks, and trying to get feedback. What do we like? What doesn't work so well? And begin the process by just looking at various functionalities, try to get an idea what we want this to look like 5 years down the road, 10 years down the road, 15 years down the road.
What we're trying to do is set up rooms that can be flexible, and you're going to see glass on 2 walls in most academic classrooms, so there's going to be more of an open concept. There's flexibility with some of the furniture that's going to be in the rooms that will allow teachers to be flexible with grouping and just the way they deliver.
A positive learning environment is crucial to the development of students, which is exactly why students' opinions are invaluable.
I think already students have benefited from the new workspaces. Students, are entering into the 21st century more so. It's more of a collegiate feel. It's much more open and inviting as opposed to the old school method of kind of a sturdy, sterile desk, everyone facing the teacher in one direction. I think the feedback's been very positive from students.
If you like to be in a place and it is nice, I think it just lends itself to, hey, we want to be here, we like being here, and then therefore, we're more apt to be able to learn and want to learn in these spaces.
Come on down. Don't feel afraid to stop by and visit. We need feedback, so please stop by. It's room 719. We'd love to see you.
With the new school being a major focus, the environment in which students are placed in is essential to their learning. So feel free to stop by and give the chairs a spin. For HHS In-Depth, I'm Andre Sentlever.
Well, this week has certainly given everyone the feel of summer with the weather we've had.
Jacob Bashford joins us now. And Jacob, can you tell us if we can expect some more great weather this weekend?
Well guys, today's weather isn't what we were hoping for. But for the weekend, it will be getting warmer. For Saturday, it'll be partly cloudy with a high of 73 and a low of 57. It gets even warmer when Sunday comes around with a high of 78 and a low of 59. I'll be back with a scoop for next week's weather a little later on.
All right, thank you, Jacob.
Next in sports, all of our sports teams were in action over the last week, and we'll get you caught up on all of their scores.
Ashton will be in to break it all down in sports next. Stay with us.
This is your weekly installment of Tech Tips, a helpful short series over assisting students and staff through issues in technology. Last week, we explained how to use the tab grouping system. Today is a message for mainly the teachers who have hundreds of tabs open at the same time. If you look to the left of the minimize button in the top corner of Google, you'll notice an arrow. Upon clicking this arrow, you can search through all of your open tabs to find the tab you want faster. That's all for this installment of Tech Tips. Tune in next week with more helpful information about using technology in Southwest Allen County schools.
Welcome back. Warmer weather is back, and that has allowed for several sporting events this week. The girls' tennis team won 5-0 over Norwell on Monday. They are in action again in the Homestead Invitational bright and early tomorrow morning. In softball action, the Spartans lost a close one to the Columbia City Eagles on Tuesday. Homestead was up 3 heading into the bottom of the 7th until the Eagles bounced back with 2 runs to walk away with a win 4-3. They will be in action again tomorrow in a doubleheader at Delta. In baseball action, along with Grant Simmons and Graham Collins signing with Huntington University to play baseball, the Spartans edged out DeKalb in a battle. The Spartans were up 14-1 heading into the bottom of the 4th when DeKalb would rally to put 9 runs on the board. Homestead would be shut out the rest of the game, holding off the Barons to just 2 more runs to sneak away with a 14-13 win. And congratulations to the boys track and field team as they defeated Snyder and Concordia on Wednesday night. Varsity first place finishes are all listed on your screen. They will be in action again tonight at Warsaw. That's all for sports. Get out and support all the athletic teams in action this weekend, including Unified Track tonight at home against Northside. Jacob has a final check of the weather when we come back.
Next week's HHS In Depth will be the first ever live show with the crew putting together the show in real time. Make sure you tune in next week during 5th period to watch live.
The weather this weekend is looking good, with highs in the 70s, and as we get into next week, warmer weather sticks around. Monday through Wednesday, you can expect rain and highs in the 60s, so be sure to pack an umbrella. Thursday and Friday are both in the mid-60s and mostly sunny. Colin Jensen, back to you.
All right, thank you, Jacob, and thank you for watching today.
We'll be back again next week with our first ever live show. Have a great weekend.